rolling. You're now tuned in, you equals us. No hustle, no fuss, yeah. My name is Street, the one they all like to meet. The indigenous nation, yeah, say it loud. We native and we proud. You equals us, you equals us, you equals us.
Welcome to You Equals Us. What we have here is my favorite episode.
Shauna Yeomans Lindstrom has been traveling the globe helping Aboriginal communities from Peru to Antarctica. She is a true change agent.
Also, a young Aboriginal boy. Trying to fight homelessness and poverty, he decides not to settle and goes to the 2012 Olympics.
If it wasn't for boxing, he would be in jail.
When I'm around here, I'm not that bang reaper boxer guy. We went to the Olympics and that, you know. I'm just their baby boy.
I love this guy. Steps in the ring, rocking his new tee. Oh my gosh, Aboriginal all the way.
He's looking like the next world champion, and he's Aboriginal.
I'm behind this guy, that's for sure. Up next, we have a go at lacrosse. I really don't know how this is gonna go.
Speak for yourself. I have this one in the bag. Have a look at this.
Lacrosse. It's a really refined art to play the game at a master level. Once you find the passion for the game, it'll never leave you. I'll probably play until, I leave this earth. Play with the ancestors when I get up there.
Top left wide.
I began at my father's request when I was like 6 years old. For me, lacrosse has been part of my family for generations, and I know it's across this land, across North America.
Lacrosse was called the creator's game in the indigenous community, known as Begatawe or Tawarathon.
Originally, they played to help in the healing process, settle disputes, and prepare for war.
For Squamish and for Coast Salish, my great-grandmother shared with me that it was a sport where villages would play against villages for sport, and they would set up goal nets. And for the Eastern Brothers, it was a way to settle wars between nations. And my understanding from archaeologists, the game is played from the Arctic Circle all the way down to Mexico City.
The Europeans added the concepts of structure and rules, and together with the First Nations peoples, made one of the first symbols of the new Canada, lacrosse.
Throughout the years, the game has changed to become what you see today.
The game is more contemporary with the sticks, and that's been around with my grandfather, Andrew Paul's influence since the 20s and 30s. Field lacrosse is 110 yards long by 60 yards wide, 10 players a side.
It really is fascinating where this sport came from, Zo?
It is, Robert, but it's time for the classwork to end and the playing to begin.
Today, we're going to lacrosse. I'm excited about that. It's something new. A lot of the principles in lacrosse, are rooted into our culture, and that's something that's important to me.
I'm quite nervous to play lacrosse, actually. I mean, I have the slightest fear of things being thrown at my head, so we'll see how I handle it. My favorite exercise is walking through the mall, so this will be the slightest challenge, but I think it'll be great.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Wilson.
Wilson? Robert.
Robert, pleasure.
Zoe.
Wilson, nice to meet you. Thanks for accepting my invitation to come join me play some lacrosse. I actually grew up playing lacrosse since I was 5, so it's actually become a part of me. So maybe I could talk a bit about the stick. And I brought a wood stick and 2 plastic sticks. The wood stick is not used so much in current days because the plastic stick sort of took over and rules and regulations have changed. There's 2 ways to string up a field lacrosse stick, which is, this is called a mesh. But also, you notice in all the sticks, there's what we call shooting strings. And we usually pull them off of ice skates. You can tighten them, loosen them to whichever way you shoot. I'll give Robert the ball, and I'm going to show a bit of how to cradle. There you go. It's automatic. It's in your blood. Yeah. Mainly if we're standing in a game or playing pass, is usually holding the stick up, and so you just catch and pass out, which is close to your body. And if someone's checking you, it's close to your body where you can just direct it away. Call that a backhand.
Look at us, we're naturals. Bullseye.
There we go.
No problem.
Yeah.
The more we got playing, the more fun it was. And turns out I'm a pretty good picker-upper. Now I feel like if I watch lacrosse on TV that I'll kind of know what I'm talking about.
I felt really good. It was culturally empowering. You play other sports and, you know, you kind of just get it as like a game that's supposed to be entertaining, but lacrosse, there's a lot more to it.
There's a teaching in this game where you can heal yourself. It's about playing the game until you can't anymore, is what I've come to love and appreciate, and that to me is a great teaching.
Our grandfather told us that lacrosse was played for the enjoyment of the great spirit. Everyone was important, no matter how big or small, or how strong or how weak.
Stay tuned to see Damien Hooper, an Aboriginal homeless boxer who makes it to the 2012 Olympics.
You equals us. You equals us.
You're watching APTN.
Did Henry see alien spacecraft? Or were they some kind of visitor like the ones talked about in Cree legends?
Indians and Aliens, tonight at 10 on APTN.
Distraction noodle.
What? Oh, yeah. What's that? What's that? Here we go.
When I was playing hockey, I went up against some big guys, but none were as big as the guys you're going up against, the big phone companies. Did you know you could save up to $500 a year with Comwave? You heard me, $500 bucks. Comwave gives you a home phone for only $14.95 a month. And all your features, they're free.
Call Comwave now and get your home phone for only $14.95 a month and all your features free. Free voicemail, free caller ID, and much more. Switch now and keep your current phone number. Plus, if you call right now, you'll get the first 6 months absolutely free.
You can try it free, so there's nothing to lose.
I get unlimited calling to 60 countries. Call now and join the hundreds of thousands who have made the switch and ranked Comwave #1.
I love Comwave.
Make your move. Call Comwave now. Stand up to the big guys.
Call Comwave now at 1-866-518-2316. That's 1-866-518-2316.
Mozzarella,
we just
cross-threaded 3-cheese pizza blend. And now you try.
Oh. Man, it tastes so good.
We sing, you eat. But it's a yummy, 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 yummy. Seriously, knock it off.
No, can we just...
No.
But if we just...
No.
Get the bag. Kraft shredded 3-cheese pizza blend. It's perfect for pizza. Tonight on Real Insights.
The key to it all is remain elegant and cool.
I'm eating caribou with a genius.
Billy Connolly, Journey to the Edge of the World on APTN.
You equals us. You equals us.
Damien Hooper was like so many Aboriginal youth in Australia.
Homeless at times, he could have been just another statistic. But he would not let that happen. Here he is now, Damien the Super Hooper.
I'm Damien Hooper. Welcome to Australia. We're in Toowoomba. That's my nan over there.
I'm the man, I'm the man.
Oh, no.
This is my golden boy.
He fought the world #1 when he was 17 years old. Most kids would cry and run away. Damien went, I'm going to beat him.
And he grew up with me knowing that he was an Aboriginal, even though he's fair-skinned.
Some of us Aboriginal fellas, you know, got a lot of talent, a lot of ability, but some of us, you know, don't go all the way, you know, because of the places we're born sometimes, you know.
In 2010, Damien Super Hooper became the first Indigenous Australian to win a junior world title at the Youth Olympics in Singapore.
Damien was born in extreme poverty. His life started out like so many other Aboriginal children in Australia.
To be honest, he was born on the wrong side of the tracks. He was born without a hope for the future. He's brought up by his nan. If it wasn't for her, who knows where Damien would be now.
I used to cry, and so I said to my daughter, I said, let me have him.
She took me in since I was 2 years old. Love you.
I love you too, my baby.
Well, we grew up together. We were raised together with our grandma.
Ducked him when I was since I was this big, done everything, you know.
We call each other brothers, know everything about each other.
While growing up, Damien struggled to find his place in his Aboriginal world.
See, because his skin's fair and I'm Aboriginal, and a lot of people, as a kid, used to throw things out and call him names and that. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of heartache.
Against all odds, from playground fights in the ghettos of Australia, a light began to shine in Damien.
He'd want to win everything. Even as a young fella, anything you do, he'd want to beat you. It could be playing the PlayStation, or he doesn't like to lose. Yeah, he wants to be the best at everything he does.
After getting into trouble, Damien found himself going down a road that led nowhere.
Street kid, got into stealing and all that sort of things, you know.
He was a bad boy, real bad. He was like in juvenile detention and stuff. You know, just always drinking, playing up.
About 12 or something, you get around the wrong crowd.
If it wasn't for boxing, he would be in jail. Spent a bit of time in juvenile home. I think he was 11 or 12.
That incident would have a huge impact on his life.
And then just decided, I need to do something better than this.
I was in there for a week. When I come out, I just realised that I didn't want to do it anymore.
I'm his coach. I've known Damien for about 6 years, and I've worked a lot with the Olympic Games team and elite athletes, both amateur and professional. He's so intense. He's very talented. When we're talking about skills, I just see his heart bigger than most.
16, he went down to the AIS. There's an Institute of Sport.
Yeah, very proud.
He changed his whole life around.
Boxing is a hard sport. It's really hard. You have to be dedicated. You can't go in there, you know, half-hearted about it, because when you're in that ring and then the bell's gone, then that's it. He's trying to put you out, you know. It's cruel.
Damien's natural talent pushed him to the top of this dangerous sport.
After a few years, he found himself on an international stage, fighting the world's best.
Damien's got this little thing inside him that says, I don't just want to turn up and compete, I need to win. He has to win. The will to win for Damien drives him daily, gets him out of bed, makes him train. We do a hard training session and he's so pumped up after it. He goes, can you take my bag? I'm going to run. And it's like 8Ks.
I've had about 140 amateur fights, been about 40 countries now.
He fought the world #1 when he was 17 years old. I say Damien's like the real Rocky.
And that's where he is today, from just hard work. It inspires me every day, what he does, because he's sacrificed.
We had our ups and downs, of course.
Australian government pulled the funding on boxing program at the Institute of Sport. Damien had nowhere to live.
While struggling to find a home, Damien was still representing Australia and Aboriginals in the 2010 Commonwealth Games in New Delhi.
The same year he was homeless, he was awarded an Australian Institute of Sport Boxing scholarship.
A few years ago there was floods in Toowoomba, and Damien was caught up in the floods. He was lost. So we went up there and dug him out. He was the first one in Australia that knew he was going to the Olympics.
Oh, it was unbelievable, unreal. But we knew he was leading up to it, because when he was overseas, he qualified, so we knew that he was going to go to the Olympics.
He actually was selected from the World Championships, where no other Australian boxer was selected at World Championships.
I always knew I was going to go. That's my goal, and that's all. I'm just seeing straight forward, because that's what I want to do.
On July 27th, 2012, Damien Hooper, the kid who wasn't supposed to make it, entered in a pro session at the Olympics in London, England.
While most Olympians were standing and waiting to enter, Damien grabbed a piece of paper and wrote a sign saying, "I love you, Nan."
I knew she would have been watching and staying up late, so I was thinking of doing something because I was going to walk out the Aboriginal flag, but they wouldn't let me. While everyone was like, you know, marching and lining up, I was just writing this sign, then bang.
She's everything to him. And his nan was just a lady in the local community that just looked after all the local kids.
Oh, that was just unbelievable. I was so happy. I was crying. Well, who was expecting in an Olympic march that he'd held up that sign and said, "I love you, Nan"?
Yeah, I love her. I'd die for her straight up. I'd do anything she asks of me. So much respect for her.
Couldn't be any prouder, I tell you now. So he's got Lillian's my name, and he's got that tattooed on his neck, and it was on TV and everything. We were just crying with happiness.
Just watching him walk out there at the opening ceremony, from where he's come from to see him there, it's just amazing.
The majority of our Australian Olympic team, I think they're happy to be on the team. Damien's got this little thing inside him that says, I don't just want to turn up and compete, I need to win.
On July 30th in London, the Aboriginal light heavyweight Damien Hooper stepped into the Olympic ring wearing a t-shirt with the Australian Aboriginal flag. This was in direct violation of the Australian Olympic team.
Even though he did, you know, get told not to wear the Aboriginal flag out to the ring again, but he's so proud of what he did, and all these people are at home. He created a bit of controversy wearing his Indigenous flag out to the ring on his t-shirt.
But, you know, there is an Aboriginal culture here. You know, it's our flag. Very proud of him. It shows a lot of respect.
Knowing Damien as I do, what he did it because he wanted to do it, and to show his culture. You know, he's Aboriginal.
But in Damien's mind, he's just a young kid. He just wanted to show his family and his people that he was proud. I've been speaking of Bernard Hopkins, who is total idol, because Bernard was in jail and turned multiple-time world champion. And I sent Bernard Hopkins a message on Twitter and asked if he'd look at our boy Damien. He got back to me, sent me his phone number, and Damien's like a little boy. He's gone, "Oh my God, let's ring him, let's ring him, let's ring him," and just hang up when he answers. Like, he was just so excited that people are actually going, "Yeah, I'll look at your boy."
Coming from nothing, Damien Hooper fought his way out of poverty, homelessness, and a desperate background to end up at the 2012 Olympics wearing an Aboriginal flag. And now, he is entering the ring.
After all the ups and downs, after all the controversy, Damien entered the ring at the Olympics with an American rival, Marcus Brown.
Everyone around, they knew, because we had Super Hooper t-shirts on, we had this banner for him, and he just wants it so much. Yeah, it was very emotional, and I was biting my nails, stamping my feet, totally fought his heart out. And
yeah, that was even, you know, just to see him up there doing what he does best.
One point down at the end of the second round, and he knew this is what he lives for, the big stage. The Brits just loved him. They just thought he was such a entertaining athlete.
And Damien beat the American, Marcus Brown.
To beat the American in Britain, and the way he did it was unbelievable.
A young boy coming from his background, I'm so proud to make me cry now, but I'm not. But yeah, I'm still beaming with pride.
I tell the world I love him. He's my golden boy. Win or lose, he's my champion.
I know heaps of boys that just look at what he's done. You know, it stops, they think, you know, if he can do it, it can be done.
Damien Hooper lost his next fight.
But he's just getting started.
Damien's probably got the best chance of being the professional world champion. We could be talking about the greatest ever. It's going to be funny in a few years' time when everybody in the world knows who he is.
He's going to go bigger and bigger from here, yeah. He'll be a world champion in a couple of years.
When I'm around here, I'm not that Damien Hooper boxer guy. We went to the Olympics and that, you know. I'm just their baby boy.
Wow, look at that guy. Left, right. My money's on Damien Hooper.
What money? I can lend you $5 if you need it.
Up next, Shauna Yeomans Lidstrom.
You equals us, you equals us.
You also have something of a reputation, Mr. Hickok, whether rightly earned or not.
Save yourself! Get out of here!
I know it's wrong, but I don't want you to leave.
I ain't leaving.
You sure you don't want to join up, Luce?
Well, I'd just as soon deliver the mail.
The Young Riders, weekdays on APTN.
KD, can I have some?
What do you say?
Please?
What do you say?
Please, Mr. Universe, ruler of everything cool, magnet for all hot chicks. Including my mom, even though she's not hot to me, but most guys have admitted that they do find her attractive in a way that I'll never understand, but must overcome if I ever want a bowl of your cheesy KD.
Forgot to raise your right hand.
This is an important message for men and women ages 40 to 75. Please use the toll-free number to respond.
The cost of a funeral in Canada today can be more than $10,000. Yet the Canada Pension Plan pays a maximum death benefit of just $2,500, and only if you qualify. Without adequate life insurance, will you leave your funeral costs and other final expenses to your family to pay out of their own pocket? If you agree that's too big a burden to place on your loved ones, call now for free information about Guaranteed Life Plus. This guaranteed acceptance whole life plan costs as little as $5 a week. You cannot be turned down regardless of health. Rates never increase and you're protected for life. In case of accidental death, your beneficiary receives 5 times your coverage tax-free. If you'd rather leave your loved ones with fond memories, not bills and debts, call now for free information. You can't be turned down.
Call toll-free 1-800-204-5918 for your free information kit. That's 1-800-204-5918. Call now.
I do it to stay sharp. I take care of my body, but it was harder to work out my brain. Well, Lumosity.com is based on neuroscience, and it just seems like games, but it's serious brain training. I am happier with my brain, definitely.
Any brain can get better, and Lumosity.com can help. It's like a personal trainer for your brain, improving your performance with the science of neuroplasticity, but in a way that just feels like games. Start training with Lumosity.com right now and discover what your brain can do.
You equals us. You equals us.
Nice to see you back. Shauna Yeomans Lindstrom decided to make a difference.
The fact that she's young does not stop her from trying to make the world a better place.
You learn a lot about the world and yourself and relationships. I went on a youth exchange to Juneau, Alaska for 2 weeks. Since then, I've just been taking opportunities that open more doors.
Her first trip was to Antarctica, and her next trip was 6 weeks to Peru.
We were building adobe stoves and fridges out of mud. It was really fun. It was challenging some days. You bring that knowledge back home.
It's important to bring the world to a small community. It lets the other kids dream a little about where they can go and what they can do.
Shauna is an asset to the Tlingit Nation. She's overcome so much in her short life already.
After my next big trip, I want to go back to school and do First Nations studies.
She is a role model.
She's always got a smile on her face for you.
Shauna is a member of a nonprofit organization that sends youth groups abroad to aid in global health and environmental issues.
I won a scholarship to the South Pole. We learned a lot about the habitat there and the animals. We met up with 3 humpback whales. One came up right beside us. It was so close, I could have touched it.
It was really hard to let her go practically across the world. She is my only child, so it makes it even harder. But I also trust her and believe in her.
Going through the Drake Passage, which is a really rough patch of water. We were really close to an iceberg, and a part of it fell off. There was ice everywhere. We were racing back to the big ship to get back on board because it was getting wavy.
My memories of Shauna are that she didn't participate because of her challenges. I would describe her as thoughtful. And so she watched.
She had some health issues that she had to overcome. She had to have some surgeries when she was a baby. All the obstacles that she's faced has made her stronger. She needs these experiences to be a good leader. To have really independent young people that are educated helps bridge the gap between our elders and society.
My grandma's my best friend. She's taught me so much about respecting other people.
I'm really so proud of her. Very, very proud of her.
As a young woman, she's no longer tentative. She's clear.
My goals for the future have a lot to do with my dance group.
She dances with the Taku Kwan dancers and sings songs with them. They went to the Olympics in Vancouver.
I think dancing is a connection within your spirit to your culture. It opened a lot of doors for me. I learned that I'm a cultural person. That's where my path is.
Shauna can show the young people when you don't give up on your dreams, no matter what obstacles are there, to just keep going and to keep trying.
Something inside me feels really strong and proud. I can't imagine my culture being forgotten. It's a responsibility to keep as much as we can to pass on to the future generations.
On the next episode, Takai Blaney has just come back from the Rio Earth Summit. As an outspoken advocate, she is gaining strong support internationally, and she's only 11 years old.
Also, Rain Grant, a traditional dancer who is transforming his community one song at a time. I'm Robert.
And I'm Zoe.
Thanks for joining us. You too can be the change.
All right, Damon Hooper, welcome to Toowoomba. We in Harlow, we're doing it. Is that all right?